Okay, we're coming to you from Boksburg, where there's the inaugural meeting of women in agriculture and agro-processing, where we've had speakers talking about the challenges that women in agriculture face, issues like the lack of access to land, lack of access to markets and finance. And we also heard of the challenges that women face in terms of the climate change that we've seen, that there's a change in weather patterns that affect the way farmers work. But for more on this, we're joined now by the Minister of Agriculture, May Toko Didiza. Ma'am, thank you very much for joining us. This meeting that you're having today, it's the inaugural one. What are you hoping to achieve with such a platform?
Well, this platform that we're creating is actually a platform of engagement between government, other entities, as well as women in agriculture and agro-processing. We are targeting women because, in our view, we have to have dedicated programs that support women in agriculture and agro-processing. As you can see in the exhibition that is here, there's a lot that women are already doing. All what they need is further support in order for them to thrive. Others have already got market access where they sell their goods, but obviously more can be done to make sure that we scale up. Those that are there, we give them a push, and those that are still coming, we actually accelerate their participation. We've got here Minister Stella Ndabeni, who is from a Department of Small Business, because they've got support packages that will actually support women in agriculture. We've got the DGIC, who is here also to assist women to look at how they can grow as black industrialists, but at the same time they can also access market opportunities elsewhere. We've got the Land Bank here, the chairperson and the staff, who are also here to look at how they can support women in terms of financial packages that responds to their needs. So we're excited because this is for the first time that as an agricultural department, rather than recognition, which we have been always doing since early 2000 of women, female farmers of the year, we are now looking at programmatic interventions that will support women to grow.
We have a serious challenge now in the country, especially in Gauteng, of water shortage. How has this impacted on the farming communities in the province?
Well, one of the issues that we are looking at is smart agriculture, precision, also using methods of how we can conserve water given the realities of climate change, so that in the way in which we utilize water in farming, we conserve and we can actually target to the plant rather than letting a lot of water to evaporate. So these are issues that, again, today when we look at the space of business development and technology advancement, we need to say, how can we assist women to actually leverage on support that is there for development.
Speaking of climate change and its effects, the changing weather patterns have affected farmers in the sense that they are unable to plan accordingly in terms of planting seasons. This affects production and income, obviously, of farmers. What is government doing to try and cushion these farmers against these effects of climate change on their investments?
Firstly, one of the things that we have all agreed, not just in South Africa but globally, is that climate change is a reality. And therefore our planning has to take into consideration the reality of climate change. We've been doing research on how we can assist in terms of seed production so that you have got seed that is relevant, particularly on drought resistance in those areas where you can experience drought. We had Bekele Thomas from AU NEPAD, who was also sharing with us the work that they are doing with Stellenbosch as a center for excellence, particularly when you look at rice production, which actually can now afford an opportunity for areas which are water scarce to actually plant rice, as opposed to what had always been the norm of producing rice in water abundant areas. So technology advancement is important to address agricultural development in the context of climate change.
And when you look at markets, we have the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. How do we then ensure that we take advantage of that in terms of these farmers scaling up to be able to supply markets like the rest of Africa?
One of the things that we need to look at is understanding and sharing information with women on the market access opportunities within the continent, look at issues of standards, rules of origin, so that they understand if they trade in this market, what are the requirements. So market information is an important element, but also looking at issues of market infrastructure and going backwards at the farm level. How do women produce goods that such markets require is one of the things that we will be deliberating on in the symposium.
Thank you very much, Ms. for your time. That is the Agriculture Minister, Metoko Diziza, talking to us there about the symposium that is underway in Boksburg, trying to address challenges that women in agriculture face. I speak to you in studio.